going to go 3 wide.
And Andretti Carr moving up here at Mid-Ohio.
Turn number 4, side by side through the corner.
Regis VK and Robert McGinnis, a dead heat at the exit of turn number 2. Side by side, and Oliver Askew scores.
Field lining up for the final race of this event here at New Jersey Motorsports Park. Colin Kaminsky, as we said, will lead him from pole. Coming out of turn number 12, ready to fire things up. We're about to go racing in the wet with Indy Pro 2000 into the punch-off. Green, 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 and a great start. Tough one for Stingray Robb. He's going to go backwards. Stingray Robb spun the tires. Great start there for Colin Kaminsky. And Stingray's going to go back to probably 6th or 7th. 5th at the latest, unless he can hold on. He's going to try to hold the 3rd or 4th. But as they work their way through turn 2 for the first time, again, drivers just getting a feel for what it's like to get power down. Kaminsky goes to the lead. DeFrancesco sliding up into the 2nd spot. Based on the start, I want to say that Hunko's car P3, likely Artem Petrov. We'll see how things shake down here. Drivers getting aggressive. Give you a full field rundown, of course, when they come across the line. 25 lapper here for the drivers in Indy Pro 2000. Opening lap, just getting settled in. Drivers again out of turn number 10. First time they'll snake through 11. 11A, 11B. Colin Kaminsky using that open racetrack to get out front here. Devlin DeFrancesco sliding into that 2nd spot as they work their way across the start-finish line here. Kaminsky, your leader. Stingray back into the 5th spot. It's not Petrov. It's actually the driver up into the 2nd position now, or 3rd position, is Manuel Suleiman. Hunter McElroy 4th. Stingray Robb in 5th spot. Artem Petrov 6th. Daniel Frost 7th. Jacob Abel in 8th. Corey Enders 9th. Parker Thompson goes back to 10th. And Antoine Camo in 11th. Opening laps on this slick track for the drivers here in Indy Pro 2000 as we cap off the day. Again, big shout out to Christian Rasmussen getting that unofficial championship locked in the Cooper Tires USF 2000 program. Artem Petrov going to go by his teammate Stingray Robb coming out into turn number 1. Stingray on the inside, Artem on the outside. Got to be smart here. Because although Stingray Robb would like to clinch the championship here, just needs a solid finish, to be honest, because could get to the point where all he really needs to do is start both races in St. Petersburg. This is about getting as many points as you possibly can. The car's not perfect. Maximize it and do the best you can with the hot rod you got. Get the best result you possibly can, and then go to St. Pete. Do what you got to do there. Coming out of turn 11 again. Colin Kaminsky doing a tremendous job out front. Great stuff here for Kaminsky, leading the way. He tries to get his first career road to Indy victory. Parker Thompson dropping a wheel coming out of turn number 12, but able to continue on. Parker's worked his way up into the 8th spot. Stingray Robb now back into 6th. Kaminsky leads. DeFrancesco 2nd. Manuel Suleiman in 3rd. Petrov 4th. McElroy 5th. Stingray Robb 6th spot. Daniel Frost in 7th. 8th is Parker Thompson. 9th, Jacob Abel. 10th, Corey Anders. 11th, Antoine Camo. Artem Petrov with the fast lap of the race so far, a 128.186. Coming to turn 9 for Colin Kaminsky in the Pabst Racing Machine. Pretty close behind him coming through 9 here. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, all right there. Big outside line for 6th place runner Stingray Robb, still in the fight. Kaminsky capitalizing on that pole position. Rolled the dice and put on fresh rubber and wrote in race 2. Gave up the finishing position there to get a good starting position here, and he has pulled out. Lead over a 1.5 seconds now for Colin Kaminsky. Still a long way to go in this one, though. Coming down into turn number 3. Look at the fight further back. Manuel Suleiman getting pretty aggressive here. Oh, contact! 2 drivers together coming through turn number 6. That is, I believe, Suleiman and DeFrancesco. Manuel Suleiman and DeFrancesco out of the race. This could hand the championship to Stingray Robb right here. Stingray was back in 6th position. I thought we were going to be going to St. Petersburg. That's Artem Petrov, actually. I thought it was Suleiman. It's Artem Petrov. Petrov getting together with Devlin DeFrancesco over in turn number 6. It looked like when they were coming up into the corner, full course yellow. It looked to me like Petrov was on the outside of the corner and DeFrancesco on the inside, potentially DeFrancesco coming across. And just the way the cars kind of rotated, all of a sudden it was a counterclockwise rotation for DeFrancesco. He's going to climb out of the car as well. So this all but hands the championship to Stingray Robb, as both those drivers are going to fall to the tail of the field. It's not over yet, of course. Stingray's got to get to the end. DeFrancesco finishing in the 10th position puts him at 312 points. Essentially, Stingray would have to finish 6th or better. Am I right? Yeah, 66 points out of the 312, 378. So 6th or better gives Stingray Robb the championship. Locks it here. Again, all he'd really have to do is start one of the races at St. Petersburg. But as they run on the racetrack now, with these 2 drivers out, both DeFrancesco and Artem Petrov out, Stingray Robb has essentially locked down this championship. He's got to finish 6th or better. He's P4 on the racetrack now. We'll restack everyone here with 5 laps in. Not what you want to see to cap off the season like this, or cap off this race weekend, rather. Artem Petrov was really starting to work his way forward. We're starting to put some pressure here on 2nd place running Devlin DeFrancesco. Both drivers out in the grass on the exit of turn number 6, just on the outside. What this does leave us with is Pabst Racing running 1-2. Colin Kaminsky and Hunter McElroy first and second. Manuel Suleiman in third. Stingray Robb fourth. Daniel Frost fifth. Parker Thompson sixth spot. Jacob Abel in seventh. Corey Enders eighth and Antoine Camo ninth. So Kaminsky will lead them around. Again, all the safety vehicles getting over there, the tow trucks, trying to get these drivers and get them off quickly so we can get back to racing. Full course caution around this racetrack here. Stingray Robb running in fourth spot. Hunter McElroy with the fast lap, a 127.174. It's also potentially going to allow Daniel Frost to jump up into second or third here before the end of the season. Frost, who runs now in the fifth spot. Frost would go to 285 points, and Artem Petrov, who's going to be 11th, will go to 292. Daniel Frost is going to be behind Artem Petrov for P3 in the championship by 7 points. And then DeFrancesco at 10th will have 312 points. That's 27 points back. So Frost with an opportunity still to potentially claw his way back into second in points. You'd have to have a really strong weekend at St. Petersburg, but definitely could fight Artem Petrov for third and potentially up into second. Of course, Daniel Frost was signed up and ready to go on Indy Lights this year. He's a multi-time race winner in Indy Pro. Was signed up and ready to rock with Andretti Autosport and Indy Lights this year. I expect to see him back with the squad here in 2021, as Indy Lights, of course, has been refired for next year. Tests for the top 3 drivers in Indy cars right after the season finale. Rejuvenated scholarship program. A lot of great stuff happening for Indy Lights next year. The Halo coming as well. We'll talk to Tony Kottman more about that in an upcoming podcast, talk about what he's got working on. Artem Petrov taking the long, lonely walk back here. Artem was pretty impressive in the damp conditions at Mid-Ohio, and you could see him moving forward. I think he started realizing that he was had the opportunity to potentially get a race win here. I'd love to see a replay. We, of course, can't see it, but when I looked up in turn number 6, it appeared that, I don't know that maybe DeFrancesco has kind of come back to the outside racing line to set up for turn number 6, because it's either he came to the driver's left or Artem came to driver's right. Artem coming down here with a look in his face like he didn't know what happened. I think Artem figured he had a chance to win this one. Ricardo Junco's coming over. Team coming to chat with their driver as well. Console him. I think they figured there was a possibility for a race win here. Artem Petrov was super quick. Very talented driver, Artem. We saw him last year with RP Motorsports Racing. Made the move to Junco's this year. Yeah. Watching his hand gestures down here on pit lane. Those of you, of course, watching on Road to Indy TV, checking things out here as the drivers work their way through 3. It seems to me like he figured he had the spot, and DeFrancesco came across, reading the sign language, the hand description down here on pit lane. As they run on the racetrack, folks, Stingray Robb would clinch this championship. P4 on the racetrack. That would move him to 382 points. DeFrancesco at 311. 71 points, more than enough. Same goes for Artem Petrov. So as they run on track, P4, essentially unofficially, Stingray Rob needs to finish 6th or better. And he will win the championship, clinch it here in New Jersey, and not even have to go to St. Petersburg. Colin Kaminsky, though, wanting to go for a race win here. As he had a great start. I think we're going to go back to green this time by. Lights look like they're out of the pace car. Pace car doing what it can to get away in these tough conditions. Out of 11, we'll tuck back in. Single file start. Kaminsky, McElroy, Suleiman, Robin Frost, top 5. Kaminsky trying to get on the throttle early. And he does, and we're rolling. Kaminsky with the lead. Let's see what we get for a battle from further back. Corey Ender's going to go side by side with Jacob Abel coming up into turn 1. Inside move for McElroy as he tried to defend from Manuel Suleiman. Back up over turn number 2. Suleiman, I think, has gone to P2. Manuel Suleiman by. So moves Suleiman up into 2nd. McElroy goes back to 3rd. 4th is Rob. 8 laps down, 17 to go. "17 laps still remaining. Drivers working their way through turn number 6, the site of the incident that brought out that full course yellow. Next shot we'll pick them up on coming through turn number 9, through 6, 7, 8, and 9. Big sweeping part of this racetrack. And Suleiman attacked quickly on Hunter McElroy. We'll see if Hunter can get back at him. Back on the straightaway again. Look at Kaminsky stretching out that lead. Colin Kaminsky looking good out front. Drivers going to be searching for a little bit of wet track here as well. Make sure they keep these tires cool. Suleiman to 2nd. Stingray Rob still P4. 6th or better, and Stingray Rob unofficially wins this championship and goes Indy Lights Racing in 2021. Suleiman trying to see if he can't reel back in here a little bit. Top 3 drivers trying to stretch away a little bit, although Stingray Rob feeling comfortable there, P4. He's got a nice little gap ahead of Daniel Frost, who runs 5th. 6th, Parker Thompson. 7th, Corey Enders, as he was able to get by Jacob Abel. So the way things were looking with where people were on the racetrack and a rough start for Stingray Rob, that we might have been pushing the clinching of the championship off to St. Petersburg. Of course, Stingray would have still been in a good position, but 2nd and 3rd in the points. Contact over in turn number 6. And that has blown things wide open. Little tank slapper there for Kaminsky coming over the hill of turn number 2. Trying to get that power down. That's allowed Manuel Suleiman to close right back up. But Stingray Rob now with an opportunity as primary contenders. Having the issue in 6. Got an opportunity to race to P4 and to secure a championship. He's actually, look at this battle. He's kind of watching it all happen here because Manuel Suleiman trying to find a way by Colin Kaminsky. Again, that's through turn number 6. Manuel Suleiman, a win already this year at Mid-Ohio. As they run on the racetrack, 71-point lead in the championship, and that would be insurmountable for Stingray Robb. 66 points is the max total that any driver can get at the doubleheader at St. Petersburg. And 66 would be enough because he's won so many races, he'd win that tiebreaker as well. We got ourselves a fight, though, for this race win. Kaminsky's leading the way, but Manuel Suleiman putting a lot of pressure on him. Hunter McElroy coming back. Suleiman's going to try the outside. A turn number 1. Does he get it coming to 2? He does. Suleiman, book it to the lead. Manuel Suleiman around the outside of the lead. Turn number 1. Rolling around the outside. Completed the pass in turn 2. And Manuel Suleiman has taken the lead. Winner at Mid-Ohio. The opening round of the doubleheader weekend in support of the NTT IndyCar Series. Finished 7th in race number 2 there. Finished 3rd in round 1 here. Looking to try to wrap up the weekend with a victory. Manuel Suleiman has gone to P1 for D-Force Racing. Brought the team their first road to Indy victory at Mid-Ohio. Going to try to put number 2 in the books for D-Force in these challenging wet conditions. Stingray Robb still running P4 with fast lap of the race as well right now. 125.366 for Stingray. He's only 1.5 seconds back. He was 0.7 quicker than Kaminsky last time by, so look out here for Stingray Robb. He's coming. Manuel Suleiman, though, out to the lead. Now, what do you say if you're the strategist right now for Stingray Robb? You're super quick. That time by 0.6 faster than Kaminsky in second. Not quite as quick as the leader. Do you get up there and battle it out with the Pabst Racing drivers? Do you take a deep breath and bring it home to 4th, clinch the championship? The racer in you is going to want to try to go for the win, try to get back on the podium. But I don't know if you want to risk it. There's a lot of money up for grabs to go Indy Lights racing. Manuel Suleiman, he was the driver on the move for sure. Trying to work his way up in the points. Coming to the halfway point. Manuel Suleiman now with fast lap of the race, taking that bonus point away from Stingray Robb. It's still a 70-point advantage as they run on the racetrack. Stingray getting down to the inside of the track, trying to get a little more cooling on those tires. 125 flat last time by for Stingray, a little bit quicker than Hunter McElroy. Kaminsky now down to a mid-24, rather a 24.9. Suleiman did a 24.2, 124.2. 0.7 of a second quicker than the next fastest guy. That's Colin Kaminsky. Pabst Racing trying to put a couple of their drivers here on the podium. Suleiman, Kaminsky, McElroy, Robb, and Frost, top 5. Halfway point of the race, 13 down, 12 to go to cap off the weekend here at New Jersey Motorsports Park. 2 weeks from now, we head to St. Petersburg. Cap off the 2020 Road to Indy season. Banquet lined up for Sunday night. Get a chance to honor the champions of the 2 programs in the series this year. Indy Lights, of course, on hiatus. Everyone's super excited to see them get back on track at St. Petersburg in March of 2021. Looking for a field of around 12 to 14 cars, potentially 15. We'll see what kind of interest continues to build. Talking to the team owners, and a lot of interest coming up as soon as that announcement came out that the series was officially back. The halo coming on the car as well for 2021, the titanium halo that, I think, has really upped the ante as well. Drivers, of course, concerned with safety, and to have that addition of the halo on the Indy Lights car, I think, has probably had a lot of people thinking about coming over here to run into the U.S. And, of course, just the success the program has had at graduating people into the NTT IndyCar Series. F2 is a fantastic program, but the bottom line is you win there, it doesn't really guarantee you anything. You win the Indy Lights program, and you're going to get at least 3 races in the IndyCar Series in 2022, including the Indianapolis 500. And what we've seen from champions over the last number of years is full programs. Obviously, Oliver Askew winning the championship, moving to Arrow McLaren SP. That's what we like to see, drivers working their way up into the program. Suleiman's fast lap, a 124.062 last lap. He keeps putting down fast lap after fast lap. He was 0.7 of a second faster than Colin Kaminsky. So let's talk about this now. We were wondering, who's good in the wet in Indy Pro 2000? How about Manuel Suleiman? Wow. Really impressive run for Suleiman out front. Able to chase down and pass Colin Kaminsky and laying down the laps here now. Kaminsky and McElroy super impressive as well for Pabst Racing. Stingray Robb has a 1.3 second advantage on Daniel Frost. And as he runs on the track right now, Stingray Robb would have enough points to clinch this championship one weekend early. Obviously, with the victory in race number 2, after a second in race 1, you could hear the emotion in Stingray's voice as he worked to thank those who were with him. His family was here at every weekend. Had to take a moment just to take a deep breath and reset. A lot of people behind Stingray Robb, the young American. A lot of partners coming on board. A lot of momentum. And, of course, this year's been a tough one. Finding the funding they've needed to continue. Behind the scenes, you don't know about the struggle and the work and the opportunity potentially to miss races without having the funding needed. He won't have that issue in 2021 as he's going to have a scholarship from Anderson Promotions to go racing Indy Lights. And you got to think he'll be with Juncos Racing, who have been so successful over the last many years, winning championships with Spencer Piggott and Kyle Kaiser. Second place last year with Renus VK. Multiple race wins. Juncos Racing, look forward to seeing them back at Indy Lights. 8 laps remaining. Daniel Frost closing up a bit here on Stingray Robb. We'll keep doing the point tally. I think if he goes from 4th to 5th, still has it locked. So, like I said, got to finish top 6. So even if Frost able to get by, it would be enough for Stingray. And that's just a clinch here, of course. As they run on the racetrack, he really only needs to start the events at St. Petersburg anyways to get the points he would need to get the championship. This is all about just trying to determine whether or not it's clinched here or not. Start of the season for Stingray as well. 5th at Road America, the opening round. 2nd in the next round. Mid-Ohio, 10th at the start of the triple header. Then 3rd in race 2. Then that big win. Getting the monkey off his back. All that pressure to win. Thwarted by bad luck in 2019. He gets that first victory. And the emotion was raw there as well. As he's able to get through, break through, get that win. Backs it up with a couple of solid finishes on the oval events at Lucas Oil Raceway and Worldwide Technology Raceway. 6th and 4th. Then he goes on the run. Sweeps the action on the road course at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. All 3 wins. We watch the drivers cycle their way through turns 1, 2, and 3. Coming here to New Jersey Motorsports Park. 2nd in the opening race. Won race number 2. Now runs P4. A tremendous body of work for the young American. Suleiman looking impressive coming through turn number 5. Look at the gap. Almost out of the picture before we see Colin Kaminsky. Hunter McElroy with a 4.7 second lead, I believe. No, Stingray's actually not that far back. Pardon me. That's the gap between Kaminsky back to McElroy. Stingray's closing up. And behind him, Frost and Thompson closing as well, along with Corey Enders. Eight laps still remaining. And Stingray Robb starting to put some pressure on McElroy. Again, not sure that he really has the motivation to get by and maybe risk it, but it's the guys behind that are coming that he's got to worry about. Devlin DeFrancesco, of course, made things tough in terms of trying to get this championship in race number 2 when he overcooked it into turn number 1, got into the back of Suleiman. Pit to change the wing, then the drive-through penalty, then the decision to come in to change tires to get a better starting position for this race. Actually in front of Stingray Robb to the point where he would have not allowed the championship to clinch, and then he and Petrov getting together in 6. So many factors played into how this storyline's been written. Huge gap as well, all the way from second back to third. As even Kaminsky with a massive lead over the drivers behind him. Kaminsky working his way here through turn number 6. There's 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. McElroy stretching out a little bit from Stingray Robb. Then we've got Daniel Frost, Parker Thompson, and Corey Enders on top of each other. 5th, 6th, and 7th. Suleiman again streaks across the start-finish line. 6 laps to go. Kaminsky second. McElroy third, 4th. Stingray Robb. Parker Thompson's got to P5. Thompson by Frost. Parker Thompson up into the top 5, and what a run at top 5s for Parker Thompson. That'll be. I think this would end up being 8 straight top 5s. No, he got the 13th. Pardon me. If not for that, if not for it, it's 7 top 5s in the last 8 races, leading at Mid-Ohio when it had the engine issue and dropped him back to 13th. But in the last 8 races, it would be 7 top 5s for Parker Thompson. Suleiman's lead, 5.96 seconds. Second win of the year, potentially here for Manuel Suleiman. He's been impressive. He's had some ups and downs, of course, some tough finishes. Didn't have a great weekend at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. 15th in race 1, 14th in race 2. Backed it up with a 4th in race number 3. Same thing at the start of the season at Road America, 16th and 11th. But he's had some really good runs. Finished 3rd, one of the most impressive drivers at Lucas Oil Raceway. Qualified on the pole, ended up finishing 3rd in the Freedom 90. Won at Mid-Ohio, as we said. 3rd in the opening round here in New Jersey. He had the contact with DeFrancesco earlier today, and then now finds himself looking for race win number 2. It's Kaminsky, I believe, coming down through turn number 5. Indeed, here is McElroy, Robb, and Parker Thompson. Parker closing up again. Parker wants another podium. And don't count him out of it yet. Parker Thompson was a half second quicker than McElroy last time by, and we've still got 5 laps to go. Parker on a roll here. He'd love to have a couple of D-Force racing cars on the podium. And he'd also like, I think, very happily, we'll grab a couple more podiums here. Podium in the last race as well for Parker. Let's see what he gets to do here. P5. Car starting to come alive for him here. 4 to go now for Manuel Suleiman. Handling this weather. Yeah, we didn't get, I think, the more aggressive rain we expected to happen. It was 100%, but we just really haven't had a lot of aggressive rain here. Track is wet. Here comes Stingray Robb thinking about trying to make a move on McElroy. Indeed, he's going to try it. He's going to go to the outside. This guy could clinch the championship, but he's going to go around the outside of McElroy. Waiting to see if he gets through the corner. Coming over top of the hill at turn number 2. Where are they? So a move to the outside. That'll be Kaminsky there. I was waiting for them to come through. There they are now. Oh, almost off the racetrack for McElroy. Parker Thompson to the outside. He gets it. Parker Thompson goes to P4 as McElroy has a bit of trouble in 5. Stingray Robb has gone to P3 now onto the podium. Parker Thompson pushing. McElroy back to now the 5th spot. Manuel Suleiman still leading the way, but Kaminsky second. This is the battle for third's been epic. Stingray Robb back to P3. Parker Thompson pushing. Remember, Parker Thompson trying to battle it out with Daniel Frost and Hunter McElroy for 4th, 5th, and 6th the championship. And indeed, Thompson with a chance to close up on Artem Petrov as well, P3. Been a good second half of the season for Parker. Not sure that he can dig in enough here right now with just 3 laps to go. Daniel Frost looks like he's going to have to fight it out here with Corey Enders as well. Enders trying to make a move on Frost. Daniel holds him off in turn number 1. Just a couple of laps remaining in the event here at New Jersey Motorsports Park as triple headers for both USF 2000 and Indy Pro 2000 look like they are going to deliver unofficial championships for Christian Rasmussen and Stingray Robb. Just a couple laps to go for Stingray to come home with this title, clinching it before we go to St. Petersburg. .124.062 fast time back on lap number 14 for Suleiman. 2 to go this time by as he rockets across start finish again. There's Stingray Robb there coming under the bridge. Parker Thompson and then Hunter McElroy. Hunter's got to watch out because he's got Daniel Frost coming. I want to know if there's something potentially wrong with McElroy. A 135.4 last time by. There's McElroy across the line. Sounds good. Frost and Enders still scrapping it out here. Corey Enders trying to go to P6. That would help his teammate Parker Thompson potentially moving up there into 4th in points. Great run for Colin Kaminsky as well. Again, remember they rolled the dice, put the fresh rubber on in race 2. Gave him the pole position. He led a number of laps early. Manuel Suleiman able to go by though. But still a great run here for Colin, putting down good lap times. 24.7. Yeah, still Colin, second fastest time here in the wet. So it obviously showing what he's got here as well. Juncos Racing Team getting a little anxious down there on pit lane now. Hopping and popping a bit. They know a championship waiting in the wings. Ricardo Juncos looking for another Indy Pro 2000 championship. White flag flying for Suleiman. Juncos pacing back and forth. Again, white flag flying to cap things off here. Suleiman with one more lap. But again, as I said, Stingray Rob getting a chance to clinch. This is a good battle still here for 6th position. Daniel Frost and Corey Enders. Enders trying the outside of him. Enders around the outside. Book it. Enders goes to P6 around the outside of Frost. But Manuel Suleiman, the driver out front, has been absolutely marvelous here today. It'll be a dual story, though. Suleiman trying to get the win, and Stingray Rob trying to come home with the championship. Another title for Juncos Racing. The last one, of course, coming with Arenas VK in 2018. Stingray has been masterful from Mid-Ohio on. The D-Force team going to roll out to congratulate their 2nd series win with Manuel Suleiman. They're going to the wall. Suleiman's going to work his way out of turn number 10 and 11. We'll give a couple of celebrations here for you. Suleiman out of 11A, 11B, little wiggle there. Back on the throttle coming through 12. And it's been a tremendous day in the wet. Manuel Suleiman, victorious in Indy Pro 2000. Colin Kaminsky, ready to rock things here. Here comes Colin Kaminsky again for 2nd, and Stingray Rob, 3rd spot, and unofficially your champion in the Indy Pro 2000 series. What a deal it's been. And you can see the Juncos Racing crew absolutely jubilant down here at start finish. Parker Thompson comes home in 4th, Hunter McElroy 5th. Corey Enders able to get by Daniel Frost. Enders goes to P6. So all 3 of the D-Force drivers in the top 6. Daniel Frost 7th, Jacob Abel at 8th. 9th spot goes to Antoine Camo. And of course, 10th and 11th, DeFrancesco and Petrov. Incredible run in the wet for Manuel Suleiman. You got to give him all the props for what was an absolutely amazing run. But Stingray Rob getting the job done. He is your champion this year in the Indy Pro 2000 category. Unofficially, we'll be heading to Indy Lights in 2021.
The end of the triple header here at New Jersey Motorsports Park was a rain-soaked one, but Manuel Suleiman was not bothered by it. Manuel, you're tired after the job done. 2 race wins this season. Tell me, how tough was that out there in very difficult conditions?
Yeah, it was very tough. But first of all, as I said, I dedicate this to my family, especially my mom. That is her birthday tomorrow.
Awesome.
So this is a gift for her. So yes, I really enjoy this win. I had fun there in the track. I think the team did a super job. The car was there, was amazing, and we found the grip. We started 4th and we finished on the 1st place. So that was pretty amazing. The track is super good. And yeah, we worked for this all the weekend, so we managed to get it at the end. So
yeah, it definitely seems like a weekend's worth of effort went into this win here today. Can you talk a little bit specifically about the kind of things you guys were working on your car to get it ready for this race?
Well, we were expecting the rain for race 3, but it wasn't 100% sure, you know. But in the dry, we were super fast, super fast. Unfortunately, on quali 1, we couldn't get the pole position because of red flag. But then in quali 2, we didn't do as we wanted. But we knew the car was there and the speed was there, so we just needed to stay confident to the races, and we did it. You know, it was amazing done.
He certainly did do it. He's taken a break because he's earned it. Manuel Suleiman, his 2nd victory at the end of the triple header here in New Jersey. Manuel, congratulations. We'll see you in Florida.
Thank you very much. See you soon.